Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 27th of January. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, we saw an actual undoubted move up. We did see this little head and shoulders I drew in over the weekend actually pretty much made target, and then we have gone higher. What we've done is we've made the IHS target at 7,003, which is good because I was getting a little concerned about that. And I think we are pretty much set up for retesting the high. That's not necessarily going to happen today, but I did want to talk about that because the thing is, yesterday was the bearish day this week. Sorry, the bullish day this week. The rest of the week leans lightly bearish. That doesn't mean we can't go and make retest the highs here, but what I would say is next week is fairly strongly bullish. We've got, I think, did we have 2 or 3 bullish leaning days next week? I seem to remember it was 3. Yes, we've got Monday, Tuesday, we've got a bearish day Wednesday, and we've got a bullish day Thursday. So first, sometimes you have a very strong first day of the month. This is one of them. 81% bullish, and just over 70 for the other two. So I'm thinking that the obvious time to see retest the highs will be then, but we could do it beforehand. We will see. What's interesting over the last day also is that SPX finally made it over the daily middle band, which is great, and it clears the retest, which we should be doing. But actually, SPX and the Qs was stronger than IWM and Dia. And if we are going to see the Qs retest the highs, that's obviously extremely encouraging. I would still like to see that. RTY, we had, hang on. Qs first. We've got a tiny bit of negative divergence here, but it's hardly anything. But it's worth mentioning that we've got a possible very weak 60-minute sell signal brewing. On RTY, nothing really, but you can see this has been the weakest over the last couple of days, which is good because the Qs have been trailing for several weeks. And Dia, we are just basically consolidating sideways in a range. I don't think this double top is going to make target. And I think the next serious target is a retest the all-time high, which is very much not far away. DAX and ESTX just trading sideways at the moment. Both of them have possible high retests very much on the table. All right, let's have a look at, sorry, no, not crypto. Let's have a look at the bigger picture on equities. And ES, you can see we've got a nice clear break over the daily middle band, and SPX as well. What I would say to that is actually, of course, that this one and the Qs, which is broken over the daily middle band as well. When you do see a rejection, it does seem to tend to happen in the next couple of days. So that is worth mentioning, but I'm not really seeing much to suggest that's going to happen. There's no divergence on the hourly charts. We're very close to a retest of the all-time high here on the SPX chart. That was only 14 handles away from the high yesterday. We do have a little bit of negative divergence on the 15-minute chart, but it's not really a lot to write home about. It's in terms of Qs, first significant close over the daily middle band. 2 points here. I mean, if that was on SPX, that would have been like 10 or 14 points by comparison. That wasn't a bad close over the daily middle band, but I'm taking this as the first real day, so I am concerned about a possible breakdown happening today. No negative divergence again on the hourly chart. Nothing really on the 15-minute chart yet either. We do have a break of the rising support here, which we have a lovely red three-touch support trend line, which I suspect won't last much longer on SPX, but I'm not seeing this as any sign of a significant breakdown. Looking at Dia, obviously we've now been over we've back tested the daily middle band. That has held as support. So we've now got 4 closes over the daily middle band, and the next obvious target is very much a retest of the all-time high. Still on an RSI 14 buy signal on the hourly charts, so I'm thinking that there's a pretty good chance we're going to see that retest the high today or tomorrow, unless we see what would be a season, what would actually fit with the historical stats, which is some weakness over the next 3 or 4 days. But I'm not reading too much into that. On the 15-minute, a little bit of negative divergence, but nothing really worth the mention. Looking at IWM, hang on. IWM, we've got on the daily chart. Obviously, we never actually, on this retracement, we never actually made it anywhere near the daily middle band anyway. We do have a daily RSI 14 sell signal fixed. We do have a daily RSI 5 sell signal fixed. And this has been the weakest. But I'm expecting, I think there's a pretty good chance that regardless of that, we would see a retest of the high next week. But it is supporting the idea that we might see a larger retracement after that. On the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed to go with the dailies, and no current positive divergence on the RSI 5. We do have possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing on the 15-minute chart. But to be honest, 15-minute charts, I mean, they often make target, but I don't take them as seriously as I do the hourly ones, let's say. All right, so not a lot else to say on the main US indices. In terms of DAX, we're still trying to break up over the daily middle band. On Nikkei, we are pulling back. This is looking like a bullish consolidation, possible triangle forming, possible flag. If it's a flag, then that could see us go down below the daily middle band. All right, great. Let's have a look at the dollar, which is where it's really happening. Now, I just want to pull up, hang on, I'm just going to pull up the dollar chart again today. Because we're actually reaching a very important inflection point here, and we are not at all far away from it. So bear with me a moment. All right. Okay, so we've got the double bottom here, and I was saying yesterday that this was now likely to fail, and we're getting pretty close to a fail. If you have a look at the where we are on the DX chart, we're now basically going down to about 96.42. This low here is at 96.22. At this point, the double bottom has completely failed, but at this stage, it seems extremely likely it is going to fail. What happens when we get there? Well, on the bigger picture, we had a first break below the daily middle band, below the rising megaphone support. This is the second break below it, and there is the option to continue down from here. In which case, it wouldn't be definitive. This could still be a bullish underthrow. But I mean, to be honest, that narrative is harder to do because, of course, we've already seen one. I think there's a pretty good chance we would then be seeing the dollar break down in a serious manner. Now that opens up a huge distance below in terms of targets. We were likely to get there within a year or two anyway. I was pretty clear that if we saw a big rally with this flag, then I'd be thinking it would be topping, and then we'd be heading down into about the 80 area. This is potentially the route where we get there directly. So the dollar could be huge over the next few months, and we could be seeing this could be basically the start of the next big leg down on the dollar. The last one took us down 14. This one here could easily do the same. Get us down into about the 85 area. Now that would have a big impact on quite a few things. So worth bearing in mind. As it is here, we're now getting down towards the retest of this low. That could potentially be a larger double bottom. But we already had a nice looking double bottom, and that's already failed. It's a maybe. But I'm not really seeing much in the way of fundamentals to suggest that the dollar should go up. In terms of ZB, we have been rallying slightly. If the dollar goes down heavily, it's hard to see how that's likely to be good for. I mean, technically, it makes bonds cheaper for anyone who's coming into them. But I think mainly the concern is that people think that if the dollar is going to be cratering, then they don't particularly want to be stuck in there holding lots of US Treasuries. So you might well find it started off quite a lot of selling. ZN, again, we've been rallying. Still looks more like it's not a perfect looking bear flag, but it still looks more like a bear flag than anything else. And the weak 6-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target. Okay, CL. CL, we are retesting this high, which was the obvious place to go. This could be the second high of a double top, but I'm wondering whether we might be seeing a larger move up here. HO, which has mainly been about, the reason this has outperformed the others is mainly about the cold snap, I think. Certainly looking at NG, that seems very much likely to be the case, and heating oil, of course, is related. This is potentially topping out here. I had a nice channel here, and this is a break below the channel, so I'm watching for a potential topping pattern to form here. RBOB, we've already got one. We've got a very nice looking double top. Waiting to see if this delivers anything. NG went a bit higher here, and we've broken below the rising support, which doesn't necessarily mean a lot. But we are seeing a pretty wild move here, and just looking at the going forward, you can see that there's now. I was talking about the huge gulf of $2 between this is between February and March yesterday, and it's now 2.8 bucks. That's big. So we are looking at a vast gulf between the forward contract, which probably has less than 5 days to run, and the March contract. And you can see that the March contract, these few big futures ones, they've gone up, but they've not gone up anything like as much. This is a squeeze. And after it finishes, we're going to be going back to prices which are an awful lot lower. So we will see how that goes, but I'm thinking we may well see a retracement start pretty soon. But this is one reason I actually keep all these NG futures. I keep a string of them on here because you do sometimes get some really, really strange moves, and this has been one of them. Looking at GC, still close to the highs, 5,100. Wow. I am wondering about a possible retracement starting soon because it's exceptionally hard to call where exactly that could be. SI, we made it up to 117. Wow. We are on a weak 6-minute sell signal. Might deliver something, might not. Palladium, the sell signals are actually done okay here, but this one's already made the possible near miss target, as the last two did as well, although we did have 3 failed ones before that, and 1 failed buy signal. Very, very strong trends do not tend to be nice to buy signals and sell signals, so I take less notice of them when it is a very strong trend. Sell signal made target nicely on Platinum. HG, weak 6-minute sell signal fixed, and probably going to deliver the target. Bigger picture, this is a very nice looking double top, but at the moment it's showing no signs of breaking down. Not a lot to say on the other currencies here. UUSD has gone to new highs. GBP USD broke out of this looks like a potential retracement coming, but that turned out not to be because obviously this little double top failed. So that's heading up to higher highs. USD JPY looks like it's forming a bull flag, has broken down hard. We've got a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed, and we've got a potential double bottle set up here, but again, big forces are dragging the yen around here. I wouldn't count on that double bottom playing out. USD CAD, possible double bottom set up too. Australian dollar powering higher, NZ powering higher. Everything against the dollar is powering higher here. But we are reaching a potential support on the dollar, and I'll be watching that closely. But I'm not assuming that's going to hold at all. KC, we're rallying a bit, but I think bigger picture, we're likely to go down and retest this low here in the 342 area. There is a possibility we could be forming a larger bear flag or a triangle here. SB, likely bear flag forming. CC has been powering down. 60-minute buy signal fixed, and we could be looking at a short-term rally here. It's a maybe. Certainly, we are getting down towards drop another 500 to 1,000, and we're getting down to an area which I think might actually give some decent support. Not seeing an awful lot to suggest that here. Looking at CT, CT continued down, retested this low, potential double bottom here, but obviously the last double bottom broke up and failed. On lumber, we've got a nice looking 60-minute buy signal that's fixed, and we've got a nice looking double bottom. Got to say the larger trend is down, so there is a bigger risk that this is going to fail from that, but I'm still thinking this target in the 643.25 to 646.50 area looks doable. ZW, having another crack at this double bottom target, but I am thinking this might just be a bearish consolidation of some kind, which may mean that the double bottom fails in due course. Corn still looks more like a bear flag than anything else. Soy, trying to break up from a double bottom here with a target in the 1104 area. Not seen a lot of action from the Chinese in terms of buying, which has been the main reason for weakness. Soybean oil has been entirely detached from soybeans in recent weeks. Possible topping action here, but not a lot to suggest it. Live cattle, the double top here, which broke down, has almost failed. This could be a larger double top forming, or we could continue higher. On lean hogs, we've got a nice looking rising channel here, and at the moment that's holding. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed now. We've got a tiny little double top here. I am wondering about a reversal back down to channel support, which I've got currently in the 92.6 area. All right, let's have a look at questions. Bear with me a moment. All right, no questions. In that case, I think it's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, take care.